Have you ever reached a point in your life where nothing feels certain anymore, where you're trying your best, but the results are not showing, where you keep moving forward, but it feels like you're standing still? Have you ever sat in silence, questioning your path, your decisions, even yourself, wondering if everything you're doing is actually leading somewhere, or if you're just lost in a cycle you don't understand? Because in moments like that, something deeper is being tested. Not your strength, not your ability, but your trust. Not trust in people, not trust in circumstances, but trust in yourself. And if you're in that place right now, where things feel unclear, heavy, unpredictable, then stay here and consider subscribing to this channel, because what you're about to hear is not just motivation. It's a way of thinking that will steady your mind when everything around you feels unstable. Now listen closely, because life has a way of going quiet when you expect answers the most. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't give you signs you can clearly read. It just puts you in situations where you have to move forward without knowing what comes next. And that's where most people struggle, because the mind starts to resist. It wants certainty. It wants proof. It wants to feel in control. But when it doesn't get that, it creates doubt. You start overthinking. You start hesitating. You start questioning whether you're even on the right path. And slowly, you lose trust, not in the world, but in yourself. And that's where everything begins to fall apart. Because once you stop trusting yourself, every decision feels heavier. Every step feels uncertain. Every challenge feels bigger than it is. But those who learn to think differently, they don't rush to escape that feeling. They don't panic. They pause. They observe. And they understand something most people ignore, that not everything is meant to be clear immediately. Some things are meant to be walked through blindly, to build something within you that clarity alone could never create. Because real trust is not built when everything makes sense. It's built when nothing does, when you keep going, without validation, when you stay disciplined, without immediate results, when you remain steady, even when your emotions are unstable. That's where it forms. Quietly, slowly, deeply, and over time, that trust transforms you. You stop reacting to every situation. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop letting fear control your actions. Instead, you begin to move differently, calmer, stronger, more grounded, because now, you're not depending on what's happening around you. You're anchored in what's happening within you. And that changes everything. Because life will always be unpredictable. There will always be pressure. There will always be moments of uncertainty. But when you trust yourself, those moments no longer control you. They refine you. They sharpen your thinking. They strengthen your patience. They deepen your awareness. And you begin to realize you were never stuck. You were being shaped. So if you're in that place right now, don't rush to escape it. Don't let doubt take over. Stand still for a moment, breathe, and remind yourself that not everything needs to be figured out today. Some things just need to be trusted. Because in the end, it's not about having all the answers. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever the answers turn out to be. And that begins with trust. And once you begin to understand that, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing certainty. You stop needing everything to make sense before you take a step. Because you realize clarity doesn't come before movement. It comes after the risk, after the discomfort, after the moments where you move forward, even when your mind is filled with doubt. And that's where most people hesitate. They wait, they overthink, they delay their own growth, because they're searching for a feeling of readiness that never truly arrives. But those who grow, those who become unshakable, they move anyway, not because they're fearless, but because they trust themselves enough to face whatever comes next. And that kind of trust changes how you experience everything. Failure no longer feels like the end. It feels like information. Rejection no longer feels personal. It feels like direction. Delay no longer feels like punishment. It feels like preparation. And suddenly, life doesn't feel like it's working against you anymore. It feels like it's building you, shaping you into someone who doesn't collapse under pressure. Someone who doesn't lose control when things don't go as planned. Because now, you understand something deeper, that your power was never in controlling outcomes. It was always in controlling yourself, in how you think, in how you respond, in how you carry yourself when things are uncertain. And the more you practice that, the stronger it becomes. You begin to notice it in small moments. When something goes wrong, and you stay calm. When pressure builds, and you don't panic. When doubt creeps in, and you don't let it take over. That's growth. Not loud, not visible, but real. Because real transformation doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly, in the way you think, in the way you react, in the way you hold yourself together, when everything around you feels unstable. And one day, you look back at the version of you that used to overthink everything, that used to doubt every step, that used to feel overwhelmed by things that now feel small, and you realize you're not that person anymore. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger, because you learned how to trust, not blindly, but deeply. And that's the difference. Blind trust hopes everything will work out. Real trust knows that even if things don't go as planned, you'll still be able to handle it. You'll still stand. You'll still think clearly. You'll still move forward. And that kind of mindset is rare, because most people are controlled by fear, controlled by outcomes, controlled by what might go wrong. But you're learning something different. You're learning how to stand in uncertainty without losing yourself. And that is where your strength truly comes from. So whatever you're facing right now, whatever feels unclear, whatever feels heavy, don't let it shake your foundation. Let it build it. Because every moment like this is giving you a choice to fall into doubt or rise into awareness, to react emotionally or respond with control, to lose trust or strengthen it. And every time you choose the second option, no matter how small, you become stronger, more grounded, more unbreakable. So take a breath, slow down your thoughts, and remind yourself you don't need everything to be perfect. You don't need everything to be clear. You just need to keep going with trust in who you are becoming. Because in the end, that's what carries you through. Not luck, not shortcuts, but the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you will not break. And this is only the beginning, because once you master this level of trust, you unlock something even deeper, control. And as you keep moving forward like this, you begin to notice something uncomfortable. Not everything you once believed is still true. The way you used to think, the way you used to react, the way you used to see the world, it starts to feel limited. Because growth does that. It forces you to outgrow the version of yourself that once felt familiar. And that process is not easy, because letting go of who you used to be can feel like losing a part of yourself. But it's not loss, it's evolution, because every level of your life requires a different version of you. And the version of you that was built for comfort cannot survive in a life that demands strength. So something has to change, not outside, within. Your standards rise. You stop accepting things that drain your energy. You stop entertaining thoughts that weaken your focus. You stop holding on to habits that keep you stuck. And at first, feels lonely, because not everyone will understand this shift. Some people will question you. Some will doubt you. Some will feel uncomfortable with the new version of you. But that's part of it, because growth is not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be transformative. And transformation requires separation. Separation from old patterns. Separation from old thinking. Separation from anything that keeps you from becoming more. And the more you embrace that, the clearer things become. You start to see through distractions. You realize how much time is wasted on things that don't matter. You realize how much energy is lost trying to please people who don't value you. You realize how often fear has been making your decisions for you. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That awareness changes everything, because now you have a choice to continue living the same way or to step into something greater. And stepping into something greater requires discipline, not motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. It shows up when you don't feel like it, pushes you when you're tired, keeps you moving when your emotions are telling you to stop. And that's where real power is built. Not in the moments where everything feels good, but in the moments where it doesn't. Because that's where you prove to yourself who you really are. Not by what you say, but by what you do. And every time you choose discipline, you reinforce something inside you. A belief that you are capable. A belief that you are in control. A belief that no matter how hard it gets, you will not fall apart. And that belief becomes your foundation, because once you truly believe in your ability to handle pressure, fear loses its grip on you. You stop avoiding challenges. You stop doubting your path. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces you've outgrown. Instead, you rise, not aggressively, but steadily, with control, with clarity, with intention, and the world starts to respond differently. Not because it changed, but because you did. Because when your mindset shifts, your reality follows. You begin to attract different opportunities. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw limitations. You begin to carry yourself with a presence that speaks before you even say a word. And that presence comes from inner stability, from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. And once you reach that level, you don't go back, because you've seen what's possible. You've felt what it's like to operate with clarity instead of confusion, to move with purpose instead of hesitation, to live with control instead of chaos. And that becomes your new standard, not perfection, but progress, consistent, intentional, unstoppable. So when things get difficult again, and they will, you don't panic, you don't fall apart. You adjust, you breathe, you remember who you've become, and you keep moving forward. Because now, you understand something most people never do. That strength is not something you wait for. It's something you build every single day, through your choices, through your thoughts, through your actions. And the more you build it, the less anything outside of you can shake it. So no matter where you are right now, no matter how uncertain things feel, keep going. Not blindly, but with awareness. Not emotionally, but with control. Not fearfully, but with trust in your ability to handle whatever comes next. Because that's what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. And you're not here to stay the same. You're here to evolve. And as you evolve, there's one thing that becomes even more important: what you allow into your mind. And as you keep walking this path, something else begins to change. Not just how you think, but who you are. Because at some point, this stops being about surviving hard moments and starts becoming about defining yourself. You begin to ask different questions. Not why is this happening to me, but what kind of person do I choose to be through this? And that question changes everything, because now you're no longer reacting to life. You're deciding your identity within it. And identity is where real power lives. Not in what you say, not in what you feel, but in what you consistently show, day after day, when no one is watching, when there is no reward, when it would be easier to stop, but you don't. That's where identity is built. You start holding yourself to a higher standard, not because someone told you to, but because you refuse to stay the same. You stop making excuses for your own potential. You stop lowering your effort to match your mood. You stop negotiating with comfort. And slowly, your actions begin to reflect something stronger. You become more disciplined, more intentional, more precise with how you move, not rushed, not scattered, focused, because you understand now that your life is shaped by what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally feel. And that realization creates separation. Separation from the version of you that once avoided pressure, that once needed things to feel right, that once waited for perfect timing. That version fades, and in its place, something sharper emerges. Someone who moves with purpose. Someone who doesn't need constant validation. Someone who doesn't break routine just because things feel difficult. Because difficulty is no longer a signal to stop. It's a signal to step up. And that shift is rare because most people wait for the right conditions. But you become the kind of person who creates them through consistency, through standards, through showing up, even when it's inconvenient. And the more you do that, the more your presence changes. You don't need to say much. You don't need to prove anything. It shows in how you carry yourself, in how you respond under pressure, in how you stay grounded when everything around you feels unstable. That's presence. And presence is built through alignment. When your actions match your standards, when your effort matches your goals, when your discipline matches your ambition, that's when everything begins to connect. Because now, you're no longer divided. You're not saying one thing and doing another. You're becoming consistent. And consistency is what makes you dangerous. Not in a loud way, but in a controlled, steady, undeniable way. Because while others are distracted, you're focused. While others are reacting, you're executing. While others are stopping, you're continuing. And over time, that gap becomes impossible to ignore because results begin to follow. Not instantly, but inevitably, because effort compounds, discipline compounds, consistency compounds, and what once felt slow suddenly becomes unstoppable. That's when you realize this was never about quick results. It was about building something real, something that lasts, something that cannot be easily taken away, because it's not based on luck. It's built on who you've become. And once you reach that point, you don't need motivation anymore, because your identity does the work for you. You don't ask if you feel like showing up. You show up because that's who you are. And that is the highest level of power. Not forcing yourself to act, but becoming the kind of person who naturally does what needs to be done. So whatever you're facing right now, don't shrink. Don't step back into old habits. Step forward. Raise your standard. Move with intention. And remind yourself, you are not here to repeat cycles. You are here to redefine them. And once you redefine yourself, there's something even more important to face: what you tolerate. And here's the truth few people ever realize. Your life is a reflection of what you tolerate. Not the people around you. Not the circumstances that happen to you. Not luck, not timing, not chance. What you allow. What you accept. What you silently permit. Because every compromise you make, every limit you accept, every standard you lower, slowly shapes who you are. And when you tolerate mediocrity, weakness, excuses, you start believing it's normal. You start seeing it as unavoidable. You start carrying it as if it were yours. But that's a lie. You were not meant for that. You were not designed to settle for what drains you, diminishes you, or delays your potential. And the moment you accept less, you stop becoming who you are meant to be. So what does it mean to stop tolerating? It means refusing to let fear, comfort, or expectation dictate your path. It means raising your standards so high that only your best self can meet them. It means walking away from situations, habits, and people that do not honor the strength you are building. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it will cost you friendships, routines, conveniences. But that cost is nothing compared to the life you gain. Because when you stop tolerating the small things, the big things begin to bend to your will. When you refuse to accept excuses, the world starts to respect effort. When you stop negotiating with yourself, you begin to demand excellence from your actions. And that's the turning point, the moment where you realize you are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You are no longer defined by what others do, say, or think. You define yourself. You define your environment. You define the reality you will accept. This is how leaders are made, not by chance, not by talent alone, but by choosing daily what they will no longer tolerate, by refusing to let mediocrity sit beside them, by refusing to accept weakness in themselves, by refusing to settle for a life that does not push them forward. And slowly, all the chaos, all the struggle, all the pressure begins to take shape into something powerful. Because now, every choice you make is aligned with your standards. Every action reinforces your identity. Every moment builds momentum toward who you are becoming. And that momentum cannot be stopped, not by fear, not by criticism, not by doubt. So take a moment now. Ask yourself, what am I tolerating that is holding me back? What compromises am I silently accepting that keep me small? What am I giving my energy to that does not deserve it? And then make a choice. Because the second you refuse to tolerate weakness, excuses, and delay, that's the moment your life begins to change. Not instantly, not easily, not without effort, but inevitably, because once your standards rise, everything in your life must adjust to meet them. And you are the one setting those standards. This is the power few ever discover. The quiet authority that comes not from shouting, but from refusing to settle, from refusing to compromise, from refusing to accept less than what you are capable of. And every day you live that way, your presence grows stronger, your influence spreads further, your life becomes undeniable. And that is the secret. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is not circumstance. It is what you will no longer tolerate. Discipline is not a habit. It is who you become. It is the quiet force that shapes every choice you make when no one is watching. It is the steel in your backbone that refuses to bend to comfort or ease. And at first, it will hurt. It will demand more than you think you can give. It will make your body ache. It will make your thoughts scream for surrender. But that is the cost of greatness. Because every second you choose discipline over ease, every moment you act when you feel like quitting, you reinforce the truth that you are not ordinary. You are not defined by circumstance. You are defined by action. And actions, repeated day after day, create identity. Not the identity that others give you. Not the identity shaped by expectations, approval, or fear, but the identity that rises silently from your choices. The one that cannot be shaken. The one that cannot be denied. This identity is forged in solitude. It is tested in pressure. It is proven in struggle. Because the world does not grant power lightly. It does not hand control to those who wait. It does not respect those who negotiate with weakness. Power comes to those who earn it, to those who refuse excuses, to those who rise every day, even when the body wants to stop, even when the heart wants comfort, even when everything around them says to surrender. And slowly, the small victories begin to accumulate. The resistance that once seemed unbearable becomes familiar, even manageable, even conquered. You begin to walk through life differently. You do not wait for opportunity. You do not rely on luck. You do not bend to chaos. You move with intention. You operate with presence. You become the constant in a world of variables. Because identity, real identity, is not shaped by approval. It is not shaped by circumstance. It is shaped by consistent action, by unshakable standards, by refusing to settle for anything less than what you are capable of. And once you reach that stage, you cannot be intimidated. You cannot be distracted. You cannot be manipulated. You act with purpose. You move with clarity. You speak with authority. You hold yourself to the level of excellence that others only dream of reaching. And presence, that quiet, undeniable presence, it emerges naturally. Because people notice what is impossible to ignore. They feel the energy of someone who does not bend, who does not complain, who does not falter when the world shakes. That is the result of discipline. That is the fruit of refusing to tolerate mediocrity. That is the outcome of living aligned with your standards. And the more you live this way, the more unstoppable you become. Because life does not give second chances to the passive. It does not reward hesitation. It does not forgive indecision. But it does reward consistency. It does reward clarity. It does reward strength. And strength, real strength, does not shout. It does not need recognition. It simply exists. It moves. It influences. It changes everything in its path. And as you continue on this path, you begin to see the world differently, not as a place of limitation, but as a canvas for action, not as a place of fear, but as a stage for testing your identity, not as a place to hide, but as a place to show who you are, through every choice, every movement, every decision. And that is freedom, the freedom that comes not from circumstance, but from alignment with who you are at your highest potential. Because once you align, everything else begins to follow. And as you continue walking this path, something begins to shift in the way the world perceives you. It's subtle at first. A glance lingers longer. A pause in conversation feels different. People notice your steadiness without understanding why. Because presence, true presence, is not about words. It is about consistency. It is about how you carry yourself when no one is watching. It is about how your actions speak louder than every promise you ever made. And this presence, it is built not in moments of comfort, but in moments of strain, in the hours when everything within you screams to stop, when the weight of expectations feels unbearable, when your body and your emotions demand surrender. That is when presence is forged. It is forged when you rise again and again, not for anyone else, not for recognition, but because who you are demands it. And once this presence becomes a part of you, spreads, it influences, it changes the energy in every room you enter. The world begins to bend around your steadiness, not because you demand it, but because it cannot be ignored. And influence, real influence, is born from this quiet consistency. It is born from the way you hold yourself under pressure, from the way you keep moving when others falter, from the way you maintain standards that refuse to compromise. The more you practice this, the more unstoppable you become. Every challenge becomes a test. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every failure becomes a lesson. And slowly, without needing applause, without needing recognition, you start to command your life in ways that others cannot. Because unstoppable momentum is not built in comfort. It is built in choice, in repeated decision after decision, in choosing to act when no one else does, in choosing to rise when others remain seated. And that momentum, once it begins to accumulate, cannot be easily broken. Every step you take builds the next. Every victory, no matter how small, compounds into power. Every moment you refuse to compromise your standards reinforces the force that drives your path forward. And that is freedom. Freedom from fear, from doubt, from hesitation. Because once you move with unstoppable momentum, nothing outside of you can dictate your pace. Nothing can disrupt the path you have forged. Nothing can shake the foundation you have built. And at this point, you realize the world is not your enemy. It is not something to conquer or manipulate. It is a mirror, reflecting the strength, presence, and discipline you have cultivated within yourself. And with every step, you no longer wait for opportunity, you create it. You do not wait for validation, you define it yourself. You do not wait for permission, you command your own space. And that is power. Not the kind of power that dominates, but the kind that moves everything in its path with clarity, precision, and purpose. And when you operate from this place, the impossible becomes routine, the challenging becomes natural, the extraordinary becomes expected, because you are no longer limited by fear, you are no longer weighed down by hesitation, You are no longer distracted by distractions that once stole your energy. You have become a force of quiet inevitability, and people feel it, they see it, they recognize it, whether they admit it or not. And the most incredible part, you did not wait for anyone to give it to you. You did not rely on luck, timing, or circumstance. You earned it, step by step, choice by choice, day by day. And now, you realize this is only the beginning, because momentum grows, presence grows, influence grows, and there is no ceiling, no limit, no finish line for someone who refuses to settle, for someone who refuses to compromise, for someone who refuses to tolerate mediocrity. And that is the life few ever achieve, because most people are content with comfort. Most people bend to circumstance. Most people shrink in the face of challenge. But you are different. You choose the hard path. You choose the uncomfortable path. You choose the path that builds a life others only dream of. And every step you take, every standard you enforce, every action aligned with who you are becoming, cements your place in a life of unstoppable power. And now, it's no longer about survival. It's no longer about proving yourself to anyone. It's about mastery. Mastery over your path. Mastery over your choices. Mastery over the energy you carry into every space. Because life does not slow down for hesitation. It does not pause for uncertainty. It does not forgive those who remain passive. And the world responds to those who operate from alignment, to those who are intentional in every thought, every word, every movement, to those who refuse to let distractions steal their power. And this mastery, it begins quietly, not in grand gestures, not in loud proclamations, but in the way you act when no one is looking, in the decisions you make that define your future, in the standards you refuse to compromise, in the relentless pursuit of the life that matches the person you are becoming. Because every choice builds influence, every action reinforces authority, every moment of discipline compounds into presence. And presence, true presence, is a silent signal to the world. It says, I am here, I am steady, I am unshakable. And when you walk into a room, energy shifts, people notice, attention gravitates toward you, not because you demand it, but because it is impossible to ignore the force of someone aligned with their highest standard. And that is the paradox of mastery. It is quiet, it is invisible, and yet it moves everything around it. Because when you have mastered yourself, control becomes natural. Control over choices, control over habits, control over how you react, even when chaos surrounds you. And that control, it is freedom. Freedom from distraction, freedom from fear, freedom from hesitation. And with freedom comes power, not the superficial kind, not the temporary kind, but the kind that reshapes your life from the inside out. Because power does not arrive in a single moment. It is built through repetition, through resilience, through the courage to act when others retreat. And the world cannot stop it. Obstacles bend, challenges yield, pressure becomes familiar, almost manageable, because you have become the constant, the unmovable force, the presence that commands respect without demanding it. And every interaction, every decision, every day becomes a test of your standards, a test of your discipline, a test of your identity. And each time you pass it, you are reinforced, you are elevated, you are untouchable in your resolve. Because what defines you is no longer circumstance, it is choice. And choice, aligned with action, becomes unstoppable. And the more you act from this alignment, the further you rise, not in luck, not in coincidence, not in shortcuts, but in absolute, undeniable consistency, until you realize you have become someone few ever see, someone few ever understand, someone who moves with a force that cannot be questioned. And that is ultimate mastery, the kind that does not need applause, the kind that does not rely on recognition, the kind that quietly reshapes everything it touches. Because mastery is not about control over others. It is about control over self, over action, over purpose, over your path. And the more you master yourself, the more the world must bend to accommodate your presence. Because unstoppable momentum, aligned identity, and unshakable presence cannot be ignored. They do not wait for permission. They do not need validation. They simply exist, and the world adapts. At this point, you realize something profound. You are no longer living by accident. You are no longer a product of circumstance. You are the architect of your life. Every choice you make shapes your reality. Every action reinforces your presence. Every moment of discipline compounds into unstoppable authority. And nothing external can diminish it, because what you have built is not borrowed. It is earned. It is inherent. It is yours. This is the level few ever reach. The level where fear no longer commands you, where hesitation no longer controls you, where chaos no longer unsettles you, where you move with purpose, act with authority, command your reality silently, consistently, irresistibly. And this is the life that belongs to those who refuse to settle, who refuse to tolerate mediocrity, who choose alignment, who choose mastery, who choose themselves. Before we move forward, take a moment and really think about this. Every choice you make, every action you take, builds the person you are becoming. Every moment of discipline, every refusal to settle, every step into discomfort shapes a version of yourself that cannot be shaken. If you're ready to rise, to claim the standards you deserve, then hit the subscribe button. Join this journey, not just to watch, but to commit, to grow, to evolve, to become unstoppable. And don't just watch silently, comment below. I want you to share the one thing you're refusing to tolerate in your life right now. Share the habit, the thought, or the situation that you are taking control of today. Write it down. Declare it to the world. Every time you type it, you reinforce your commitment. Every time you read it back, you remind yourself that you are no longer waiting for permission. You are creating your reality. This is your moment, your choice, your life. Hit the subscribe button. Join this journey, because every word, every insight, every step I share here is designed to help you unlock your full potential. Subscribe not just to watch, but to commit, to grow, to evolve, to become the version of yourself that cannot be broken.